on Paranormal Insights, we're going to the new Living Expo in the San Francisco Bay Area for a special panel on past lives and karma.
On this very special edition of Paranormal Insights.
I'm Joseph Ernest Martin.
I'm Tanya Peters.
And this is Paranormal Insights, where we bring you the latest and best from the metaphysical world.
Here, you'll get real tools and insights to your questions as we bring you answers from beyond the ordinary.
Tanya is a licensed clinical social worker and certified hypnotherapist. She is also an intuitive empath connected to her guides and divine source, accessing inner wisdom for living an authentic life.
Joseph is an award-winning psychic of over 25 years and is the author of the international bestseller, The Quest to Row, and recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence.
One of the things I love about going to the new Living Expo out here on the West Coast is that it draws together people from all over the world, speakers, workshops, and panels. And this is a very special panel, Past Lives and Karma, exploring the whole idea of have we lived before, and what is the karmic creation that happens when you have many past lives. Let's go right to the new Living Expo.
This is Lynette, Cynthia, Joseph, and Lisa. And Joseph is going to introduce me, please, because he's the one that knows me best. And then I'll introduce everybody else. So let's give a big cheer to all our panelists here. Yeah! Hey. Thank you.
And we're really lucky to have such a great panel here today, especially our moderator, Lai. Lai comes from a long line of European psychics. She's a medium, an intuitive, an animal communicator, and past life reader. She was awarded the Best Psychic and Best Pet Psychic by Union Press. She's the author of the book, Celebrity Pets Tell All, and I have read that book, and it is a really charming book if you get a chance to get a copy of it. She does radio and TV shows and is an expert judge in the Glamour Magazine Hall of Fame. She does charitable fashion shows for the SPCA in Honolulu, and every single dog that is in the show gets adopted. They are dressed by a pet store in Honolulu, by the way. In this incarnation, like in many others, she chose to reincarnate in her maternal grandmother's family. Her family and Lai have had many lives together, and they are very old souls. But she looks pretty good for an old soul, don't you think? Her great-grandmother and her grandmother started training her from a very young age without telling her that she was receiving a special education. So she thought that everyone could see spirits, everyone could speak to them, and look into past lives and communicate with animals. She never had any problems talking about spirituality, as her family was pretty open about it. But of course, as she grew older, she learned more things that she wouldn't be able to understand when she was very, very young. She also invited many holy sites and met several spiritual leaders that are trying very hard to make this world a better world. She is one of the most honest psychic workers I've ever known and been able to call one of my friends. Let's welcome our moderator, Lai Uberud.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm going, now they switched places. No, they haven't, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to introduce Lisa. We start from that, Lisa Barnett. And I have to read this because I can't remember what she wrote. Lisa Barnett is the founder of Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom and is an internationally recognized teacher with more than 20 years of experience in the spiritual healing forum. Through her school, Lisa shares resources to bring clarity and healing to you by using the ancient yet accessible Akashic guidance. Lisa accesses the healing energy of the Akasha for her clients, and she'll share that energy with you today. Lisa specializes in empowering individuals to find greater fulfillment, happiness, abundance, and ease in their lives by aligning with their soul path. She helps you realize how your soul contracts can create and affect your relationships, how karma may show up in your life when you least expect it, of course, and how past life vows can hold you back. Lisa has developed an amazing program that helps ordinary people experience lasting transformation. She provides her students with the knowledge to access their own personal soul records. Lisa also teaches students how to complete karma and vows by incorporating information and healing tools from the Akashic record. The wisdom and divine energy of the Akasha helps her clients and students at the soul level to create the life their heart desires. Lisa's new book, The Infinite Wisdom of the Akashic Record, is due out this year and will delve deeply into this information. Hello, Lisa. Thank you so much for being in the panel. Okay, Joseph, it's your turn. Joseph Ernest Martin is the author and the artist for the award-winning Quest Tarot, which is now in 5 countries and 4 languages. His book and deck won Best New Age Interactive Product of the Year, and he won the Visionary Award of Excellence in international competition. He also won Best of Show at the Holistic Living Expo of California. Joseph Martin has been on national radio shows as well as on TV and was a finalist on the Bravo TV pilot Housebusters. He's filming year 3 of his new, is it 3? Year 3? Of his new TV series, Paranormal Insights, winner of 2 Western Access Video Excellence Awards for Best Talk Show Entertainment and Best Show Special Audience. As you can see more about Joseph on YouTube, Vimeo and Facebook, and his website, www.questtarot.com. And his books, decks, and DVDs are available worldwide. Hello, Joseph. Thank you for being here. Now, Cynthia Sue Larson is a best-selling author, researcher, and transformational speaker who helps people visualize and access whole new worlds of possibility. Oh my God, everybody's going to be able to achieve a lot of things today, or from now on. Cynthia writes and teaches about the science of spirituality and how consciousness changes the physical world. She has been featured on the Discovery Channel, the History Channel, Coast to Coast AM, and BBC, and has presented papers at international conferences on science, spirituality, and consciousness. For the past 15 years, Cynthia has shared findings from scientific research in the fields of quantum physics, quantum biology, the placebo effect, positive psychology, sociology, and alternative medicine. Cynthia's articles have appeared in journals ranging from Magical Blend to Parabola. Results from Cynthia's How Do You Shift Reality surveys conducted in April 2000 and June 2013 documents incidences of the most commonly experienced types of reality shifts, and her Reality Shifters website has compiled one of the most extensive collections of reality shift reports in the world. Her popular design, is it design?
What?
Did I write here design?
Popular e-zine.
Okay,
It's like
sorry.
a newsletter online.
There's always one that puts in very expensive words, so they embarrass the presenter. Last year we had one, I gave up. And then Ian Brinkley started making fun of me, so I told him, you do it. He said, no, Joseph, you do it. Halfway he said, who on earth wrote this crap? That sounds like Daniel, all right. Well, I wasn't going to have that this year, trust me on that one, is eagerly awaited each month by thousands of subscribers worldwide. Cynthia has a degree in physics from UC Berkeley and an MBA degree and a Doctor of Divinity. Cynthia reminds us to ask in every situation, how good can it get? Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, last but not least, Reverend. Hey, be careful, you know, she will make you go to confession. Reverend Lynette Corsten is an ordained minister in the Universal Anglican tradition. She's an international astrologer, medium, and Reiki master teacher. Her TV series of 20 years has put her in the forefront of researching many areas of metaphysics. She has lectured at many national and international conferences on many subjects, including esoteric astrology and past lives. Her amazing intuition and healing ability is well known and documented. A possible introduction, oh, sorry, that's not for everybody. I don't know how this ended up here. So let's give a big applause to Lynette. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about reincarnation and karma. So we're going to find out a lot of secrets, and as you know, everything stays here is confidential, and don't worry, by the time we finish, nobody knows who said what, including ourselves, you know, trust me on that. On top of it, we can hardly see because we have a light shining on our faces. So another thing before we go, we have some gifts here, so our assistant is giving some, raffles to people, and we're going to make a draw, and then there will be 5 prizes. So 5 lucky people will get a nice gift here today. So stay put. So what we're going to do is, perhaps somebody would like to talk a little bit about what you do, like for 3 minutes, or shall we start with questions straight away? Who has a question for the panel? If nobody has questions, Cynthia, what you have to do?
Okay.
Can you tell them a little bit more about what you do?
Sure. This is interesting for me to be on this panel, and I'm so glad to be here today, because usually when you think of physics, you don't usually think in terms of past lives or karma. But I am so excited just in the last couple of years, and I think most of you, if you're following what's happening in science, you're excited too, because we're at a point in history where the quantum age is finally here. What that means for all of us is that consciousness can no longer be ignored. So we can no longer just assume that physical reality is just basically like the standard classical reality. Is this better? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to be careful with the stuff on the table. Yeah. But how this ties in with all of the matter of reincarnation and karma, to me, is especially interesting, because I like to think about this entire reality as being akin to a holographic multiverse, and the idea there is that all of these different possible yous and possible me's are actually out there. But it's not so much that they're out there as that we are not any one of these physical realities that we tend to assume that we are. You and I are actually consciousness, and I think that is such a tremendously important finding that's got tremendous scientific backing right now. And I'm not going to go into all the science, but I do write about it extensively, and there are lots of articles right now. The things that I'm thinking that you may have heard of lately, if you're following the news, would be the reports from Antarctica, from the BICEP 2 telescope, referring to the cosmic background radiation. And the findings look like they're backing up this whole idea that we definitely do live in a multiverse. And there's a lot of other really strong scientific corroboration with that. So I just want people to know that there's a scientific basis for this. So we're moving away from being laughed at, those of us that believe in things like dowsing and astrology and divination and spirits. We're actually moving into a place where these things are having increasingly strong scientific support. So I'm really happy to bring that news.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Okay, now we have, what has astrology has to do with reincarnation. Hold on a second. And how do you pick up the birth sign you want to have, you know? Everybody says Scorpios are terrible, you know. Does anybody want to be a Scorpio? I'm a Scorpio. So I chose it. Why did I do it? Can you explain that, Lynette? Okay, let us get that way.
So speaking of researching, astrologers were researchers, were scientific, and were mathematical. And so when I was asked to be on the panel, I was trying to put a lot together. To answer your question, Lay, I'm a believer that when we're first born, and of course we bring in our past lives, which I believe comes from blood, DNA, energy, we consult with our higher power, you know, many different names, the divine, when we want to be born, where we want to be born, who we want to be born to, how we're going to live our life, and how we're going to pass away. And so that consciousness, that information shows up in your birth chart. And so we take a look at that, and that's a blueprint. When an astrologer runs a chart, we see we see all the planets, and there's a lot of, you know, thousands of years of research on these planets, and that's where we come from. Our basis is research. And then how we do that is we talk to people, we do readings, we interview people, and we get confirmation on that as in any experiment. So, Lay, Scorpio, it is interesting. And so past life with Scorpio, you're the most powerful.
Hey, I knew it. Don't
Right.
tell my husband, though.
Right. She's the most powerful. So all the Scorpios are. Scorpio rising, moon in Scorpio. Your ruling planet is Pluto, which is a co-ruler of Mars. And so you've got the energy, you've got the tenacity, you've got the
Stubbornness?
Stubbornness. I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of you. But, and I am always telling Scorpios that you win. So that's a fact. As far as past life information, and think about that. With all of that energy and the terminology that I just said, a lot of that is in very well-known, very famous artists, politicians. You have to have the past life information, the energy, say it's your sign, to accomplish many, many things in life. And so if I'm trying to think of some famous Scorpios right now, but
Hillary Clinton?
Hillary Clinton, absolutely. And so having the stamina and having the energy and the power to even step up to the plate to try to be the president. And so
Thank
that's
you. Thank you, Lynette. And before I go on to Joseph, I would like to thank him for the beautiful drawing, or whatever it is you call it over there, past lives and karma. I promise you I couldn't have done better than that. Actually, I couldn't do it, period. Okay. Tell me, what made you start going into past lives and reincarnation? How do you see it? Give us an idea.
Well, I always thought, my master teachers, they're real people. I took classes from them for many, many years, and they were always very obsessed with what is in the now. And so at first, past lives seemed like something more abstract to me. So one night in the Master Psychic Training class, I was the one in the hot seat, and there was 20 other psychics in the room all looking into my past lives, and they didn't know my history or anything. And what happened is this one psychic said, "I see you hung by the neck until dead." And then this other psychic said, "I'm getting that too. In more than one lifetime, you were hung by the neck until dead." And then another psychic says, "Not only that, more than 2 lifetimes, but you were wrongly accused. You were the scapegoat that they hung that didn't actually do the deed." And so they went down the line talking about these lifetimes. And what they didn't know is from the time I was a young child, I would sleep at night with a stuffed tiger animal around my neck. Now, I didn't realize at the time that a tiger is a symbol for protection, and that I naturally was protecting my neck every night when I went to sleep, or that as a young man, wearing a shirt and tie was nearly impossible. It was so hard for me to have anything constricting around my neck. But after acknowledging my past lives, where I believe I was hung by the neck until dead, I was able to release that energy and then move forward. And if I want to wear a shirt and tie, I can wear that now, no problem. I can breathe with anything here that comes up, a turtleneck, it's all fine and good. And so for me, the value of looking at a past life is in how it can release or improve the lifetime that I'm actually in right now.
Thank you, Joseph. That was great. And now we're going to talk to a specialist in Akashic Records. And it's the first time we have it on the reincarnation panel. It's also the first time we have a physics or an astrologer. So you see, we had everybody just about, but not these three specialities. So we're very lucky today. Would you please tell us exactly how the Akashic Records work and all that? Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So the Akashic Records are the record of your soul from the time your soul individuates from Source, decides to take a nice journey and learn and grow and have a, kind of a self-realization trip. And so everything you've ever done, everything you've ever been, whether it's on this planet, another planet, another dimension, whether you were in the angelic realm or the elemental realm, it's all recorded in your Akashic field. People often see the records, kind of imagine it as a grand library. But of course, Akasha is Sanskrit.
Microphone?
Oh.
Because I can't hear you.
Oh, okay, sure. Is that better? Wow, I sound so loud, really?
It's on the back,
Anyway, so the Sanskrit, Akasha is a Sanskrit word for ethers, or sometimes they say sky. But it's divine source energy. Dr. Ervin Laszlo, who is a quantum, I think, physicist also, calls the Akashic Record the information arm of God. It's where all divine source information is recorded. So every single person has their own Akashic Record, and beings of light that keep those records for you. Our businesses have records, our pets have records, our soul families and groups all have records. But what I also realized when I started to access the Akashic Record for clients, the information that came through most often was about how their past lives were affecting this life. So we have karma that we come to complete. We've made vows in past lives that it's time to release. We have soul contracts with soul family members from other lifetimes that we want to come and meet with again and spend time with. And so this life is not an accident by any stretch of the imagination. We've all really come to continue our journey, and that, of course, has a lot to do with numerous past lives.
Thank you. I have a question for you, Lisa. You heard about Bangalore in India. And anybody that goes to Bangalore can get into some kind of place where they have all the records. Have you been there?
No. I have never been to India. I always laugh and say I've spent so many past lives there, I'm not going back this time.
No, but what you think about it, you think it's absolutely true, because I know a couple of people that went there, and everything was written there. They said they saw the date, the time of birth, the name. One of them was a girl, the married name, then I can't remember if she got divorced or the husband died or whatever. So the change in name, the kids she was going to have, and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I really believe that there's so many different ways that we can actually access our Akashic records. I've been told there's a tree. Was that, and this information is written on leaves in India.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not sure if that's
it's
the
written
same.
on leaves.
Yeah, and there's amazing readers who read this for you. There's also a very strong belief, although they haven't really been uncovered, that there are physical records on Earth in India, Egypt, and and the Yucatan. And so many people actually access their own Akashic records. I actually learned to access mine kind of inadvertently. I got this big booming voice yelling at me and giving me really expansive information. And it took about 5 years to figure out who was yelling at me all the time. But I found out, and then I was like, oh, I guess that's my soul path. But so people learn to access their records inadvertently, and I actually teach people a very simple way to learn to access their own Akashic records.
Okay, thank you for answering that. So since we have to wait, I think that's perhaps it's a comic lesson. We all have to be very patient, you know. Okay, who has a question? Yes, sir. What's the question? I can't. What did you say?
Yes, in terms of traditional views of reincarnation, such as Buddhism, that there is a possibility of incarnating up and down in the evolutionary ladder, so you could reincarnate back down into animal forms. In Theosophy, you can only go one direction. In light of the multiverse and other ideas now, how do you view reincarnation?
I'm going to answer part of it.
We hope you've enjoyed this very brief visit from the New Living Expo's panel, Karma and Past Lives. The actual panel itself is right about an hour and a half. We're only able to show right around 22 minutes here. We hope you've enjoyed it. Now, if you want to see the entire hour and a half panel, then look at the links in the credits and you can get the DVD for yourself. Come see us next year at the New Living Expo. We want to answer your questions and address your topics. If you have questions you'd like answered or topics you'd like us to look into, we're easy to find. You can find me at questtarot.com or email me at joseph@questtarot.com.
You can find me at tanyapeters.com or by email at tanyapeterslcsw@gmail.com. In the Sacramento area, you can watch this program on Comcast Channel 17. See more at accesssacramento.org. In the San Francisco Bay Area, you can watch this program on Comcast Channels 23, 28, 29, and 33. And throughout the state of California, you can watch this program on AT&T UVerse, Channel 99.
Additional channel listings can be found at betv.org and att-services.net. We're now on eyevolvetv.com, a special channel on Roku, and on selected cable channels throughout the Midwest. You can follow us on Facebook, Vimeo, or YouTube. Simply search Joseph Ernest Martin, Tanya Peters, or Paranormal Insights. And be sure to watch our series, The Magic Minute, exclusively on YouTube, where you'll find easy-to-use, everyday magical techniques to improve your life, because it only takes a moment to make magic. And remember to click like and subscribe after viewing. Please send us your questions and topics
So we can share our paranormal insights
and answers from beyond the ordinary.